So, Michael, one of the things that we've both had the privilege of doing is spending a lot of time with experienced developers over the last few years. And we've done a lot of this together in the same room over various lunches and dinners and events where we've heard from various experts. And you've been involved in quite extensive discussions and panel discussions about the industry. One of the things that I'm sure you've picked up and everyone will agree on, that a lot of the things that we have known will change as a result of the situation now. Not to say that it's all, doom and gloom or negative, but there's a lot of positives that will emerge from this in terms of people moving on to new ways of doing things. What do you think are changes that we'll see either in the very near future or potentially longer term, that regardless of how experienced someone is, how long they've been in the business, that will open up opportunities or new avenues to do what they do?
Yeah, it's really important, mate. I mean, first and foremost, for the sake of the economy and to zoom into the segment that we focus on, we as a country need to empower SME property developers to be able to build more housing. We've seen huge decline in SME housing output over the last 10 years. I mean, just to give you a flavour, we all know that we need to build 300,000 homes a year. Okay, we are spectacularly consistent at delivering 200,000 homes a year. And in 2008, 30% of those 60,000 were built by small builders, small and medium-sized builders. In 2017, only 10%, 20,000, decline of 2/3. Okay? And as a good former strategy consultant, I'd say either that sector is a nightmare and declining, or there's a huge barrier. It's the latter, and that huge barrier is funding. And 42% of SME developers have told us that the biggest barrier to them building more housing is funding. And unlocking the potential through policy changes, through taxation changes, and better sources of funding, such as crowd property, not only come together to unlock the real entrepreneurial potential of SME developers and smaller projects, given that small sites and small parcels of land are almost infinite in this country versus large sites for large builders. This drives the delivery of fundamental undersupply of housing into the country, and spending the economy on labour, materials, and services. You build one less home in this country, that's somewhere between £100,000 and £200,000 less spend on labour, materials, and services in the economy. It is profoundly important. And Boris coming out with build agenda, whether it's HS2 infrastructure down to delivering so small sites and pockets and creating more homes is very, very important. That's fundamentally why we exist. But I think it's a bit more than that, and digging into the better sources of lending. One of the reasons why our proposition of property finance by property people is so important is that we've been in the SME developer shoes for decades ourselves. Not only do we really understand the risks associated with small and medium-sized projects, but also smart deal structures, JVs of every type, vision of what the developer is trying to achieve. And that means we can build a better debt product for those situations and increase likelihood of putting more housing supply into the market. And a good example of that is our modern methods of construction product that tackle so many complexities around delivering projects, especially MMC, especially for SMEs, which many lenders just can't or won't support. But the fundamental answer from my perspective on that question is ultimately SME developer creativity and entrepreneurship need to be recognized and enabled, not blocked or barriers put up by government policy or lack of understanding by underwriters. They're the things that will drive the economy and drive the build agenda.
Very good answer. Thank you very much, Mike.